Okay, so Jeremy,
Yes.
so you had a fire. You came up to the booth here at National Farm.
Yep.
You had a fire. You had a couple of them.
Yep.
Can you walk me through what happened on
Which one?
which one was more impactful for you? You used our product, and what was your experience?
Well, pretty much either. Both were really important for the fact that I guess the first fire we had was out in the field. We dumped some hot coals somewhere near a river, and some grass happened to catch on fire, and it was near a seed corn field, which is not just commercial corn. It's really expensive, and we walked away. We thought it was out. Next thing you know, the neighbor came by and said, "You got your field's starting to catch on fire." Well, of course, you're out in the middle of the field. You don't have no access to water. So the first thing we did was grab our fire extinguisher and ran out there. And by the time we got to it, it was about 50-foot circle, and within 20 foot of a standing, dry, mature, about 2 weeks away from harvest field of standing seed corn. And if it would have took that, it was a 100-acre field. It could have been millions of dollars worth of losses.
Right. So the fire had started. You had your standard extinguisher.
Yes.
The standard STOP-FYRE. So this was really, it was a field fire, or the beginning of a field fire.
Yep.
That you put out with the extinguisher.
Yep.
Which is probably the reason that we're talking now about upgrading to the high capacities off of that experience.
We were lucky enough to have 3 or 4 smaller ones because, by the time we were done, 2 of the 3 were pretty much gone, and we figured out through the process. By the 3rd, small bursts work better, but you get a little amped up when it happens, and you start pointing and pulling, and next thing you know, that tank's gone. And after you figure out how it works, it actually can walk. I mean, you don't have to. If you point and move, it will put out the fire that it won't come back. Because with grass fires, you have glowing ambers, but it keeps it from popping back. I mean, but that was a learning experience.
Right.
By the 3rd one, we figured out small areas and let it, and then you can stomp out whatever else. But when you have 3-foot flames, you need to get them down so you can even stomp them out.
Right.
And that was a big help to get it in control without water.
Right.
You know.
Awesome. Awesome. Glad to hear it went well. You said that you had another fire?
With a combine. We were lucky enough, it was late at night, and so happened we moved back to the farm in a bean field close to the buildings. I mean, it's right adjacent to our buildings. And it was dead, and it was kind of in a valley, and the bean dust is covered, so it was hard to really tell you were on fire until finally the smoke got through to the cab, and I smelled something hot, and it was like, oh no, this is bad. But you couldn't tell it was a fire because all the bean dust. So I took off with that smell in your head. The first thought is, this is not normal. I took off for the buildings, and by the time I got up to the buildings, I got out, and I couldn't find nothing until I got around where in the vicinity of the fire, and it was just a little amber, and it was glowing. But by the time I grabbed what fire extinguisher I had on the combine at that time. I didn't. All mine were in my service truck, which was being transported back with the cart and whatnot at that time. So, because I was by myself, because we just moved at 9 o'clock at night in the dark, and by the time I got the dry one out and tried to hit it, it had no way to get to the source because panels, plastic, and you name it on there. Dry just kind of, well, that wasn't working. I just threw that. I had one burst, and I seen that wasn't going to work, and my other employee was there, and I'm like, I knew I had some sitting on the shelf. I'm like, run to the shop, grab the other ones, so I can get in where, because it seems like this product migrates towards where it will migrate towards the fire where dust just blows past your shields.
Right.
And you can kind of hit the area, and it basically, how'd you put it, matted out, or however you would put it, put out the fire just by general vicinity, what do you call it?
Yep.
area took out the fire rather than direct
Right.
contact. So it saved the day there, you know. But
Awesome.
yeah, it's definitely worth owning something and having that reassurance that you're going to be able to handle those situations. Now that I've done it twice, yeah, it's definitely beneficial.
Right. Jeremy, thank you for being a customer.
Yep, thank you.